We're back here, Radio Row, Super Bowl 48, Denver Broncos taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Let me run into my favorite guest. We talk to him each and every year here at Radio Row, and that is the Pro Football Hall of Famer, Mike Haynes. Mike, Zach Gelb here, WHIP Radio. How you doing again?
I'm doing great, man. You've gained a little weight since I've seen you last
A
time.
little bit. We gained a few inches, a little weight, but I'll tell you this. You're looking really good in this jacket. We've interviewed you about 3 times, and you've never sat down in this jacket with us.
Yeah, well, my day is now starting so early, probably 6 o'clock I'm leaving the hotel, and today I'm going to be taking pictures for some another event, and so I had to wear it. I had it on all day yesterday and all day today. That's really been unusual.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame, the announcement is this weekend. Take me back to when you got your call. I know you expected to get in a little bit earlier than you did, but you once told me it doesn't matter when you get in as long as you do get in.
Exactly, and I think that's what a lot of guys have to understand. And but it is emotional when your name comes up and you're a finalist, and all your friends know that you're a finalist, and you don't get selected. It can hurt. I actually found out I was working at Callaway Golf at the time, so I was at the PGA show in Orlando, which always seems to be happening the same week as the Super Bowl. And I was very fortunate to be with a lot of my coworkers, and we went out and celebrated.
I was very agitated when the MLB had their announcement this year because the voters try to make a statement a little bit, and I suggested on my show actually that they should expand the ballot a little bit more for the amount of names they could put on from the MLB side, and also give the players a vote in addition to the writers. Would you like to see the players that are in the Hall of Fame get a vote for the NFL Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. As you're going to be surprised, but we actually this year, for the very first time, the guys did take a little vote. It's unofficial, and we were going to give, or we will be giving our results to the Hall of Fame voting committee. So on Saturday, when those guys are all together talking, they're going to get the results of our votes.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Mike Haynes joins us on Radio Row. We'll talk about Know Your Stats and prostate cancer in a little bit. Richard Sherman, do you like him? Do you like all the yapping that he does on the field? Because he is a really good cornerback.
I like him. I really like him. And a lot of folks may not know Lester Hayes. That was the corner on the other side. Lester used to like to talk a lot, and that actually made our whole defense better because he would challenge the team we're going to play, and that would mean from the beginning of the game we have to have our A game on because we know they're going to be bringing it. I think if they would have had microphones close to the field or close to us, right after games, we'd have said some things that we might have regretted. But I really like the way that Richard Sherman has dealt with it. I mean, there's consequences to everything you say, but he's handling it just absolutely fantastically, and I'm really proud of him.
Talking about Lester Hayes and that Super Bowl that you did win and you had an interception in, how does that secondary with the Raiders compare to this one with the Seattle Seahawks? Because they're getting a lot of credit as they enter Sunday's game.
Well, I don't really know how it compares, and you may be a better judge of that than me. But I do know that they have a very talented secondary. But to have a very talented secondary means you have a very talented pass rush. The two go hand in hand, and so even though they don't have one big sack monster on the team, they have several guys that have a lot of sacks. That means that they're bringing it, not just one guy, but everybody on that defensive line has potential of getting in there and making a big play, putting pressure. And from what I understand, they do a great job of substituting those guys. So that secondary has great pressure all the time, working to get to the quarterback. And as long as it's not a quarterback like, say, their quarterback, who can run around and give the offensive guy a little bit more time to get open, they're going to be good. And we know for sure Peyton Manning's not going to do that. And for really as a defensive back, what you really hate the most is a broken route when the quarterback starts to scramble, and now the guy was supposed to run a down and in or a down and out or a hook or fade. Now he can go wherever he wants to go to get open, and the quarterback's just got to get him the ball. That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare for secondary.
We all know Peyton Manning. He's a genius. He's already won his Super Bowl, and people still knock him for his okay postseason record. He's a little bit under 500, and you look at his offense this year, it's an all-time great offense with Eric Decker, Wes Welker, both of the Thomases. If you're a cornerback going up against Peyton Manning on Sunday, are you playing a lot of press coverage on these guys?
Oh, absolutely. With the pass rush that we would have, absolutely, I'd be in press coverage. One, it takes a lot of plays, a lot of routes out of their offensive system. It kind of limits them. They're not going to run they're not going to run an in route. They can't get inside. And so that route would be out. So they're going to really run outs or corners or ups. That's it. And so if you play your whole season and and you do it effectively, then that's just you're kind of used to doing that. Well, the receivers are not used to doing that, so they're going to be out of their element, and hopefully that will be enough to get them off their game.
Even though Manning won a Super Bowl when he defeated the Chicago Bears, people still knock him, and he needs this second Super Bowl, a lot of people say, for his legacy. If Manning is able to secure that second ring on Sunday, what does that do to his legacy amongst the all-time greats?
In my mind, he's already amongst the all-time greats. He could.
I agree.
He could lose on Sunday. It's not going to impact his, where he is in my mind in history and his contribution to the game. I think he just wants to go out on top. That'd be a nice way to do it. But he's one of the all-time greats forever. We'll be hearing about Peyton Manning my entire life, and I'm hoping I live to be 125.
We're talking to Mike Haynes, NFL Hall of Famer, and last year when we were in with you in New Orleans, we talked about what a Super Bowl would do for Ed Reed's legacy, as he was still looking for that ring, and now Champ Bailey is in that same situation, never got to the Super Bowl. That has to be exciting to see a great cornerback like him have a chance to get a Super Bowl ring.
Absolutely, and that would complete his career, and that's a guy who's a shoe-in Hall of Famer. Just had a great career. He's not a big talker, just gets the job done, and that's really what you want. Very fortunate to play his entire career in one place. But, yeah, that'd be a nice way to go out for Champ.
Now, on the other side of the ball, what Champ Bailey's going to be defending is Russell Wilson, and we talked about how he has a lethal arm and he can also extend the plays with his legs, and everyone likes that traditional pocket-passing quarterback, but you see what he's doing, what Colin Kaepernick is doing in that NFC Championship game, and they're able to stay healthy. But on the other side, you have a player like RG3, had an amazing freshman year, rookie year, and then in his sophomore year, he had some problems recovering from that ACL injury that he suffered in the playoffs. Do you like the style of a mobile quarterback?
Absolutely. I mean, as a defensive back, I hate it. If I have to cover those guys, I hate it because as you talked about extending the play, that's, as I said earlier, that's the toughest part about being a defensive back, when the receiver can go any place he wants to go. You can cover him on the out, you can cover him on the end, you can cover him on the up, but when he can go any place he wants to go, he can just fake to his left because you're over there and then go to his right, and there's big separation. That's a fear. And so, I don't think that we're going to see a lot of that out of Peyton Manning, but we definitely will see a lot of that out of Russell Wilson. And so as a result of that, a lot of times teams will choose not to play man. They'll go zone as a result of that.
A few more questions with NFL Hall of Famer Mike Haynes on Radio Row. Super Bowl 48, Seattle Seahawks going up against the Denver Broncos. And I live in Philadelphia during the year. I'm from New York, though, so I'm used to this cold weather. Do you like the idea of a cold weather Super Bowl?
Not really. Not really, but it's okay with me. If you have to have it here, that's all right, as long as if it's in the 30s, 20s, but if it's one of these 10-degree deals, then I don't know if that's going to be a lot of fun for the fans or for the players. But, yeah, if it's, generally 20, 30, 40 degrees, sure. There's no golf, but there's plenty to do in this city. If anybody
never
can say,
sleeps.
Everybody says, if someone says, hey, I came to New York, there was nothing to do. What? You got to be – you're in the wrong New York.
Hey, I love New York like nobody else does, but
Yeah.
I like going to New Orleans for this week or
Yeah.
even Florida. What's your
How
favorite
about
Super
Phoenix
Bowl
next
location?
week?
Say that again?
How about Phoenix?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, my favorite Super Bowl has been New Orleans, but the last time it was in Phoenix, I had a great time there too.
Before we let you run, we always know that your health is very important, and we always talk about how you have to get that test and you have to catch it early when it comes to prostate cancer. Tell us a little bit more about Know Your Stats and the great work that you do with them.
Well, as you know, I'm a survivor, and I actually found out I had prostate cancer by total luck, being in the right place. The doctor there asked me questions about my PSA. I didn't even know what that was. But when he gave me some statistics, that 1 in 6 men would be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, that got my attention, especially when you compare that to 1 in 8 women are going to get breast cancer. And I said, well, wait a minute. Why don't I know about prostate cancer? I sure know a lot about, the breast. I know where it's located. I know what a symptom is, all that stuff. But I didn't know anything about the prostate, where it was located, or any of the symptoms. And so once I had my surgery and I was cancer-free, when I was asked to be the spokesperson, I gladly said yes, because I wanted to make a difference. And I knew, being a football player, Hall of Fame football player, that we would be able to get the attention of football fans. And so been very fortunate to have guys like Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott, Deacon Jones before he passed, and Fred Bolitnikoff, and many, many, many other guys, Harry Carson, Chris Carter, to help us get the word out. And all we're asking is guys to get educated about their own prostate health, find out if it runs in their family, and talk to their doctor about it.
Well, you look great. You sound great. I'm glad your health's in a good place. And this
Thank
Hall
you,
of Fame
Zach.
jacket is always nice, so I appreciate a few minutes. And let's talk to you again next year.
All right. Hey, are you going to go to the game?
No, I'm not going to the game. I'm
What?
traveling back. We got some Temple and Villanova basketball, Big Five matchup, so we always have to watch that.
Okay. Well,
Tickets too expensive for this game.
we have a public service announcement that's going to be aired at halftime. So
Okay.
I wanted to get your thoughts on it, but next time, hopefully. But it's going to be featuring Harry Carson and Chris Carter and Commissioner Goodell and myself. So.
Well, do you mind if I come with you to the game, be your +1? Is that okay?
I thought you had to go to this basketball game.
I would ditch the basketball game. Mike Haynes,
right.
everybody, live from Radio.